and we're gonna have so much fun. Okay? Because that's just what we do. We have fun. Who is this? Who is this? Who is talking right now? That sounds so unlike me. Who is talking? Goofballs. Anyways, if you missed the memo, I did like a 3 hour session with the love deck and sexual magic deck last night, and I did pull off the Thoth cards, but today I just don't feel like running the love readings into the ground, so I'm really just focusing on this because it's what we've got. I'm gonna do a quick, like, 20-minute thing, take a little break, and then we'll be back for more. I thought this title would be funny because I was thinking about Aleister Crowley, who I don't necessarily fuck with. One thing about, I guess, my belief system, or like who I choose or what I do, is that I just acquire things, right? I don't seek them out, or rather, I let it come to me before seeking it out. So this deck, Aquarius, like my moon, is Aleister Crowley. Which is why for a moment I was like, oh, what if we channel some Aleister Crowley? And I was like, yeah, you want to see some dark shit instead? Because, yeah, I am dark. That doesn't make me evil. I think we all have the capacity to be evil, and some would say I am. And part of me is, clearly. Like, there's a certain amount of wickedness. There's a reason they tell me I look like Regina George and Katerina. Right? A certain amount of wickedness. Still maybe not evil, though, right? I'm chaotic good. I just want what's best for anyone by any means necessary. But yeah, I'm dark. It's the nature of my magic. It's the nature of necromancy. It's considered black magic. Did I ever go out of my way to align with that? No, it's something that I've learned over time based on my practices. So, I guess, yeah, I do black magic. And this deck is dark. It's Aleister Crowley. It's also Egyptian. Frida Harris made it. Seeing some repetition from last night. So maybe this will be kind of focusing in on something that came up, but is needing a little more in-depth. Didn't I say last night? Dear Prudence, won't you come out to play? Dear Prudence. Maybe I'll just stick with these 4 for now. Greet a brand new day in this pile. Amen. 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 And women. And anybody else. Okay. I am going to go through and kind of like talk about these 4 cards. I'm feeling like that's going to tie in some of the conversation we had earlier and make it all make sense and be its own unique reading, because we did get all 4 of these cards last night. And considering there's 78, well, there's actually 80 cards in this deck. So there's it is a little uncanny to get the same ones over and over again when I shuffle a lot. Obviously, I shuffle while I'm doing it. I shuffle before and after I use them. Like, they're shuffled. If we're getting repetition, it's because lessons, right? Ace of Swords was the bottom of the deck. Ah, the Hierophant. Yes, the Hierophant. So, Taurus energy, Princess of Wands, emotional journey. Here we go. Let's dive in. Okay, I am holding kind of a lot of stuff, though. I need to just put it down. Cool. I feel like they just keep coming. So the bottom of the deck, we're going to stick with the Hierophant because I'm a Taurus and I said so, even though I think the Empress should be the Taurus card. Okay. What I'm seeing is like, okay, so the thing with the Hierophant is that it's all about sticking to tradition and the plan and like basically going in your ancestors' footsteps. Probably. Or he's getting his rocks off. Either way. The Hierophant reminds us to continue on the path we know we're supposed to be on, more or less. It's like that this was my goal, this was the way it was supposed to go, this is what I'm sticking to, this is where I'm coming from, this is where I'm going. Unmoving, unchanging, which I just feel is not the Taurus energy y'all think it is. Just because they're fixed sign and they're very grounding doesn't mean they're so grounded. Most Tauruses are completely groundbreaking in what they do. From, we talked about some of that list last night. Even if they were maliciously evil, they still did something that had never been done before, right? So, very groundbreaking. Not really about what people do and what the plan is in the sense of a traditional life path, but on a personal level, what you've chosen for yourself or what you've created for yourself, or like the way you want to go, where your passions lie and what you want to stick to. Not necessarily in the sense of following instructions or doing what you're supposed to do, right? Because we're going to honor what the Hierophant represents, but we're also going to honor Taurus energy if they're going to associate the two, right? Let's clarify. Here I have Queen of Wands, Prince of Cups, and Three of Discs, which is works. So the Queen of Wands is like fiery woman. You can think fire energy, but she's very, if wands with passions and emotions, she's seated at the throne in control, even of this wild cat, right? So she's got a handle on things. She kind of knows what she's doing, but more importantly, she knows how she's feeling, and she's very certain in that. So it represents either a fire sign who's ready to maybe commit, or someone who's already committed and rising up to not the occasion or the challenge, but how would you say it there? Rising up to the title, if you will. And Prince of Cups is for me, or in the deck, usually like a child, like a baby. But it can also be realizing that just because you feel some type of way, or you are committed or assured of a certain feeling, doesn't mean that you can't have a new perspective, right? The Prince of Cups, if Cups is perspective and mindset, attitude, then that Prince is at the beginning. It's at the reset phase where it's like, maybe I should approach this with a new angle. Now that I've gotten a hold of my feelings, now that I've settled down, worked it out, gotten control, maybe I can look at this from a new angle. Maybe I can go in with a different perspective. And then Three of Discs works. If it's a baby, then boom, three in the family. The female figure, the mother, would be more than ready in this scenario of the Queen of Wands, and then the Prince of Cups being the actual child. Three of Discs, it works. 3 is a magic number. But it can also represent more financial stuff where you've got 3 streams of income, or 3 jobs, or 3 offers even, or other things you value, not necessarily family and people or money, but just having a house, a car, a job, having a family, a hobby, a career, anything like that. So that was pretty good, especially in regards to the femme or the fire signs. More so femme than fire, though, because it was a queen and fire's mask. So, these are all face down now. So let's look at these two. We've got the Ace of Swords and the Princess of Wands. So okay. So here it is. We've got going on the Queen of Wands, right? Followed by the Prince of Cups. So it's like, yes, I feel this way. I'm very certain. I'm with it. And now maybe I'm going to think differently. But then this next card is the Princess of Wands. And all of a sudden the feelings have changed. Looking at it from a new perspective, maybe I should reconsider my feelings. Moving kind of backwards. Moving forwards in one direction and backwards in the other. It's like heart was in the lead, but now mind is in the lead, right? Because this is also the Ace of Swords. So knowledge coming through. You get new information. Again, you're looking at it from a different perspective. Now what? Maybe feelings have changed. Maybe things have gone backwards a little bit. We'll reveal these. Sagittarius. So this could be for somebody dealing with a Sagittarius. I don't want to say it would be something that happens in Sag season unless someone is expecting, someone's already pregnant and they are expecting a Sag. But art, it's the art card, so back on the creation game. Also, because it's a Sagittarius card, most decks it's Temperance, which is about sobriety, taking breaks. Time to get in, time to do that shit. You know what I mean? Time to mix it up and then stir it up. Isn't Bob Marley a Sagittarius? And the moon follows, so Pisces, Sag and Pisces, both mutable. But the moon represents manifestation and, getting through dark times. We've got the Prince of Discs, so again, maybe rethinking things, maybe budgeting, changing finances. And Ten of Cups, satiety. So knowing that this process in the end will get you what you want or what you needed, no matter what route you go. On that note, I'm taking a quick break. When I come back, it will be these 4 cards. I want to meditate on it for a moment. I want to see what it's about. Look, Hierophant again. So I will be right back with some better messages. Actually, hold on a sec. Okay, sorry. I was fucking bullshitting. I was like, I'm so honest. And then I was like, no, I'm going to meditate on this, which is true. I was going to think about this more before I went into them, but I am expecting someone for a brief moment as an intermission. It was a half truth more than a full lie, right? And I wanted to sound cool on the stream. Sue me. Please don't. I have no money. There's no point. So, we have these 4 cards. Like I said, I kind of do want to go into them. I might still wait to do it because, like I said, I feel like there's something here where we got these 4 cards last night. Is the 7 of Cups, Debauch, the Knight of Discs, the 2 of Swords, Peace, and the Star, Aquarius, where I feel like less of a reading and more of a message to be said about each one of these and perhaps how they function with one another. This looks like the Magician. It is the Magician. So we are focusing on what we want, manifesting it. As above, so below. And then we have the Hermit, more earth energy, but Virgo, looking within and having the answers for yourself, relying on the self and being independent, not out of necessity, but out of desire, so to speak, like wanting to be on your own. The Hermit chooses to be alone, right? He separates himself from everyone else by choice because some people just prefer their own company and they prefer non-human things, right? There's plenty to enjoy in the world other than humans. I personally, I think we discussed that last night, really do like human beings. But I can appreciate Hermit energy and I know when to be by myself. I know when to kind of go within and leave people alone, as much as I'm always asking people to leave me alone. You know what I'm saying? 3 of Wands, virtue. See, that's the thing. Here we are. We're like trying to make something happen. Maybe it is the kid thing, right? Where somebody's like, oh, yeah, I really want this. And then you stop and think about it. And you're like, you know what? Maybe I actually changed my mind. Maybe that's not really what I want. What the hell? And you're like, okay, well, if that's what I was going for and now I don't want it, what am I creating, right? Like, if I'm not creating life, what am I creating? And only you have those answers. You can't rely on another person in the same way that you can when you bring life into the world. It's really up to you at this point. You know, it takes two to tango, but we're just dancing. We're not doing a tango. We're just, the beats of a drum. And then the Three of Wands, virtue. So at the end of the day, you got to choose you. You got to do what you want and what's right for you and what aligns with your own ethics and values, really. And Nine of Wands, strength, fire, passion, but resilience, effort, etc. That was pretty good. Bottom of the deck is the Eight of Wands, swiftness. So acting on a feeling and doing it quickly, not thinking twice, just going all in. Very cute stuff. These, man, I just feel like there's something here. I keep saying that, but Seven of Cups, debauch, is to live in excess. I brought this up last night about the alcohol, and a lot of us were like, no, it's weed. And it's like, maybe we don't realize that even if we only do it once in a while or not to excess, that it does still build up over time and still need to do things to combat that. And it doesn't necessarily have to be alcohol because it is just still excess. Again, I just associate it because it's a cup card. But I almost am leaning towards the old school definition of debauchery. And it's so funny because I think it's a game also, debauchery, maybe not. But I just remember being in high school and somebody using that word and telling me what it meant back then. So when I started reading tarot, you know, after, I just thought the debauch was about somebody crossing you. And I used to say this was like the cheater's card, which is really funny because then somebody was like, I don't think that's really what that word means. And we looked it up, and debauch is when you do something excessively, but debauchery is like a medieval term for a trader, basically. Trading. Um, I think maybe that's what this is. That's what I'm saying. This is not a full-blown reading. These four cards are going a little bit in depth to the things that we hit last night. And like I said, brought up alcoholism. Maybe it's really deeper than that, where if we're looking at both definitions of this word, then I would even say it could be that someone else who has crossed you might be the one doing something in excess. I'll get there. So it could be both. Then we have the Knight of Discs, and you can kind of see where he's walking away from this energy of the Seven of Cups, like the crossing or the drinking or whatever it is, and moving towards the Two of Swords, which is peace. Okay, so sometimes quitting, right? We had Temperance show up, we had the Sagittarius card show up. Sometimes quitting can be the only thing that, one, you save money, right? The Knight of Discs is the breadwinner because the discs are all about money, and so are Earth signs, really hard workers, right? Always taking care of people. So you may have been poorly and you don't realize it, but they also excessive behavior, and it's very hard. But at this point, you have to walk away, especially if you're asking yourself things like that, where you're saying, "Will harmony be restored?" Doubt it. It's time to walk away and find peace elsewhere. Situations going to bring you peace. You have to go find it. Probably within yourself. You have the Hierophant and the Hermit. You know, it could even be leaning earth sign. Really, if you have a lord that is an earth sign and grounding, even if they are not. Um, but whoever you're dealing with, I don't want to say water sign because especially when it's personal, but it's time to walk away from the situation that is doing you no good, because whether you realize it or not, it is that situation. So if you want peace, you want harmony, you want to go back to having a quiet life or whatever it is, then you've got to make that move. And when you do, that's when the star shows up. Okay, so I like to see the star as being the center of your own attention and being the star of the show. It represents a surprise, but it also, to me, feels like focusing on yourself, putting yourself first, not putting up with this bullshit, not putting up with other people's habits, not letting other people affect you anymore. Walking away and seeing where life takes you and being like, wow, I do deserve this. I know. That's why I was like, I don't want to make it personal and say water, but um life surprises us in so many ways. But you would definitely be surprised at what is to come when you do finally decide that your peace is greater than their problem. That was, write that down. Write that down. We're going to have to watch the replay because I don't really spot on remember what I said. But that was good. So, anyways, I liked that. That was a cute, quick spread. I'm going to take that break now. I do want to come back on here. It's still kind of early. I'm feeling it. I feel like it's a good energy. So I'll be on pause for a moment. Sorry if you're just joining. You can always, I guess if I end the stream, you can watch the rerun, catch up on what we already did, and then tune in for the next one. So I guess I'll do that. But I will be back with more. I am just taking a quick intermission. Don't dwell on the word quick too much. I'm late for everything.